Hi everyone, hope you're having a wonderful day today. So today we're going to be talking about organic nomenclature, okay? And this is the first part out of a three-part video, okay? So today we're going to be talking about some very semi-simple molecules, okay, and how to name them using the UPAC nomenclature, the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemists nomenclature, okay? So the first step in naming a molecule is going to be first to choose your parent chain. So the conditions for the parent chain are for it to be the longest chain, okay, and to have as many ramifications or substituents as possible. Okay, so we're going to say that to have the most branches. Okay, so far those are going to be our conditions. So in that longest chain, we must include as many functional groups as we can. Okay, so include all your functional groups. Okay, so the most important part will be to include all your functional groups. The second most important will be for it to be the longest, and the third is for it to be the most, to have the most branches. So in choosing your parent chain in our first molecule, which is this one right here, okay, we must include all functional groups, which in this case is our double bond right here, and then extend for it to be the longest. Okay, so let's pick that one and extend towards the longest. Now we don't continue on this side because we can tell then that if we go down into the side, we can make it even longer. Okay, so instead of having a 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 carbon long chain, okay, we can have a, right, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 carbon long chain. Now the second, okay, so first we're going to choose a chain, the parent chain. Okay, the second step is going to be to number your carbons. Okay, so how are we going to number your carbons? You want to have smaller, the smallest numbers possible. Okay, so for example, in this case, if we start over here, we're going to have 1 2, okay, 2 being this double bond already. And since the double bond is more important than the other ramifications, then we're going to pick that one. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. If we had started on this side, the first thing we would have encountered would be this methyl group, which would be on carbon number 3. Okay, instead of a 2, which is the double bond right here. Okay, so now that we have our parent chain numbered, we're going to start on naming our substituents. Now, for naming substituents in the parent chain, we're going to be using prefixes: meth, eth, prop, but, pent, etc. You can look that up online if you'd like. Okay, so for now, we're going to talk about meth being for 1, okay, eth being for 2 carbons, prop for 3 carbons, but for 4 carbons. So let's name our substituents. Since we're talking about alkyl groups, which are just ramifications that come out of a parent chain, okay, we're going to use the ending YL. Okay, so for example, here we have a 1 carbon long chain, okay, extending from our parent chain, so we're going to call it methyl. Okay, in this case, we have another one that looks identical to that, so this is going to be another methyl. Okay, now this is one parent chain, one chain that is special, and this one is called isopropyl. Okay, check out part number 2 for those special branches. Okay, so once we have this, we're ready to start writing out the name. Okay, the first is going to be, we're going to have first naming our ramifications, then naming our parent chain. So let's take a look at this. We're going to write our ramifications in alphabetical order. So we have M and we have I. Okay, So first we're going to write down the I, okay, and then the M's. So the name for our molecule, this molecule right here, would be on carbon 5 isopropyl, okay, and then on carbons 4 and 6 we have 2 methyls, dimethyl, okay. Then you're going to proceed to naming your parent chain. So how do we name that parent chain? We're going to have how many carbons it has. We have oct. We have 8, so we start using Greek prefixes after that. Okay, so 8 carbons long, and on the second carbon you have a double bond, so 2N. Okay, all right, and since that's the most important functional group, we're going to complete it. Okay, next, let's try another example. Alrighty, now with a cycle. The first step, as you know, well, now it's to pick your parent chain. If you have a cycle, you need to check if in that cycle you have all your most important functional groups there, which in this case is this double bond. So yes, that's where we have it. Okay. So then we're going to choose the numbering. Okay, for numbering, you will pick the most important functional group, which in this case is this double bond. Okay, and we're going to start numbering there. Now, which side starts? Since in this one we have a methyl group, that's going to be number 1. Okay, we need to have number 2 on the other side of the bond, and then continue in that direction. Okay, so the names for the substituents, what do we have in here? We have a methyl group here, have 1 carbon long extending from the chain. Here 2 carbons long, so it's going to be ethyl, eth2. Then we have another methyl and another methyl. Okay, so which one goes first, E or M? Well, first goes E, so we're going to have 3 ethyl. And then we put the number where each of the substituents are. So in this case, we have a 1, 4, 4 trimethyl. Okay, you indicate how many you have. Okay, di or tri if you're putting multiple numbers. Okay, and then since we are mentioning already all your substituents, we go for the parent chain, which would be cyclo, since we're talking about a cycle, cyclo, pent. Okay, then the smallest number, 1e. Okay, if you have a 1, it is actually not necessary to put the 1. Okay, all right, so thank you.